I wonder how many British troops await us on the other shore.
Must be thousands.
Is there any chance we'll win this war?
Of course.
General Washington.
General Washington, we apologize.
No need. I am fearful as well. We will live through the battle ahead because we fight to control our own destiny,
Hear, hear.
to create our own nation,
Well said, General.
and to do our own thing with the English language.
Our own thing, sir?
Yes, I dream that one day our great nation will have a word for the number 12. We shall call it a dozen.
And what other numbers will we have a word for, sir?
None. Only 12 shall have its own word, because we are free men, and we will be free to spell some words 2 different ways.
Which words, sir?
Donut and the name Jeff.
What are the 2 ways to spell Jeff, sir?
The short way with the J, and the stupid way with the G. And this is why we fight, men, to extend those liberties to all Americans.
Including men of color like myself?
Well, we will also have 2 names for animals. One when they are alive, and a different one when they become food. So cows will be beef, and pigs will be pork.
And chickens, sir?
That one stays. Chickens are chickens. And we will create our own foods and name them what we want, like the hamburger.
Made of ham, sir?
If only it were that simple. A hamburger is made of beef, just as a buffalo wing is made of chicken. But fear not, men. A hot dog will not be made of dogs.
What is it made of, sir?
Nobody knows.
But, sir, shouldn't we know what's in a hot dog?
Get out.
I'm sorry?
Just get out of the boat.
Just go over the side?
Yes, go now. A real American would never want to know what is in a hot dog, just as they will never know why our money is called the dollar.
The dollar, sir?
Yes. And if you think I'm worthy, put my portrait on the front of it.
And what shall be on the back, sir?
Everything, all of it. Crazy stuff. Squiggles, Latin words, pyramid with a floating eye on top.
General, I must confess, I'm very confused. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to much of this.
Do not worry, soldier. For in our great nation, we will create schools that teach our children our ways. First year of school will be called kindergarten.
And what will the second year be called?
First grade. There will be 12 grades in all.
Oh, so a dozen grades.
No, we don't use it that way. But the children would not have to go to school every day. We will have our own holidays. 4th of July, Flag Day, President's Day.
And what shall we do to honor our leaders on President's Day, sir?
Buy a mattress, of course. These are my dreams for our nation, men. We fight this war to free the English language and free the American people.
All the American people, sir? Do you mean the slaves will be freed after this war?
After a war.
A war. But it's this war, right? Right? Where you going? Oh, I didn't do the voice. Ladies and gentlemen,
You did the voice.
it's Friday, and you know what that means.
It's not.
The last horse time in human history.
This is
Or
the
not, who knows?
this is this is probably the final horse time as we barrel.
Could it be? It may not. Who knows?
It will be. As we barrel towards the end of Podzilla 1985.
It's not ending.
Scheduled to die. Now I changed my mind again. Scheduled to die.
No, you didn't.
On March 29th, 2025. Sure. We thought it would be fun to revisit some of our favorite shows, the ones that really made the most impact on the podcast, the ones that people still talk about and they love. Last week, unfortunately, we did miss Pro Wrestling Unscripted, but we also thought, you're not missing much. I wonder why. That was a stupid idea. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea to schedule.
I don't either.
Pro Wrestling Unscripted on the election
night.
Yeah.
I remember when I first put that calendar out there, Jesse goes, "Oh, we're doing a show Thanksgiving night," and I was like, "Yeah, it'll be fine," and it probably will be. This was the one that was the problem.
Yeah, more fine than this one that we did here. But so the goal of this is we invite the original cast members back on. We talk about the show. We talk about the history. We share some favorite moments, our least favorite moments, stuff like that. And this isn't the only one we're doing. Of course, we missed Pro Wrestling Unscripted. Although part of that also, that was a weird one because Pro Wrestling Unscripted technically started with me, Hunter, Louie, Jordan, and Zach. Now,
are we talking about Pro Wrestling Unscripted today or Horse Time?
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it.
We're getting there.
You could
doing something.
You can't do that because Louie's fine, but Louie and Jordan I never talked to, and Zach Price I wouldn't invite back if you put me at gunpoint, which he's never done to anybody.
How many episodes was Jordan on? Because I barely even remember that. I was going to say
like 2.
Yeah. So we can sum this up really quickly. March 29th, 2015, you contacted me earlier in the week and said, "Hey, what do you know about doing a podcast?"
Yeah,
and I said, "Not much."
Because I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and encountered drunken friends who said, "Y'all need to do a podcast." I said, "Let's do it." Pro Wrestling Unscripted, the core group was, for the longest time, the one that really put it on the map was myself, Asa, Dalton, and Allie. Of course, Allie is not going to appear. Dalton and Asa are both busy and couldn't work. It transformed into me and Hunter eventually, and that became the final cast for it. But we without being able to get the original cast members back for the most part, I don't know, it felt weird to do. But tonight, Kaz, we're talking about Horse Time.
Horse Time. I would actually preface with, I'm not technically the OG. I'm more the one that kidnapped this shit.
You are. This show became your show.
I kidnapped. I horse napped.
Well, you may not have been on the very first one. Okay, but you were on the first one we called Horse Time, weren't you? Because this show didn't start as Horse Time. You guys remember that, right?
Yeah, no, I was about to say.
Shannon said it, and then I was like, "Hold on, let me draw something," and I sent him a pink horse.
And I like that. And it became. And even though we don't do Horse Time anymore, that horse stays on every banner I create because I love him so much.
It's a logo, man.
Yeah, it's a logo. No, this show started.
They even made the puppet.
Oh fuck! I love the puppet. Do you have the puppet with you?
Do you remember the animation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like I actually was talking and shit. Oh, the puppet is not with me. It is 2,500 miles away.
Yeah, you got wild with this show. This show,
I had fun with the show. We also sold a shit ton of Alexander the Greatest President ever.
God.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that. I was going to give a brief history
of a warrior president.
I was going to give a brief history real quick. This show started technically on Friday, April 17th, 2020, and it was called the Legendary PZ85 Group Chat for Happiness. Why did we start this show? We were already hammered down with like 3 shows a week, but we wanted to do one more, and honestly, it was 2 reasons. This is legitimate truth. 2 reasons. One, because of COVID. And COVID had ravaged the country, and we couldn't see each other, et cetera, et cetera. And the other one, honestly, is because I was going through the breakup, and I was very sad. I was very miserable. And we created this as a way to just get my mind off things. And the first episodes of the show, before Kaz came on board, it was pretty much us just shitting on Tanner every week. Badly.
Well, it was... So, as I recall, and correct me where I'm wrong here, but so COVID hits... The podcast moves online, moves on to Discord. That was when I came back full time.
Yes.
Because I'd been sporadic for a couple of years in between there. I came back for some live shows, and I came down to the store and did some stuff. But when everything moved onto Discord and online, then I came back and I said, well, because you were out temporarily. We did Yeah, we did 4 or 5 episodes of Plays before you came on, because Plays was the first thing I started back. I said, hey, I'm going to jump back in. I know you're not ready for it. I'm going to start this show. We'll do it that once a week. And if that's all that gets uploaded, then that's all it is. And so the first few Plays were like, and we'll talk about that later this month, but it was like me and Jesse and Tanner and Cody. A very eclectic cast. Yes. And then as the month went on,
all the
you
rejects.
Came back. We added more PA, motherfucker. You came back. We added more people. And it got to where we were basically doing a show almost every night of the week, except for like Monday and Friday. Well, Monday you were already off anyway, but Friday was we had After Dark, which was supposed to be like random, anything goes. But After Dark is more structured than we ever give it credit for, because there's a list every week. There's politics every week. Right. Yeah.
Horse
this
time
was literally let's just get on and fuck around. And like you said, it was keyed off of the group chat. It was everybody who was in the group chat was welcome.
And I really quick, I have to give credit to Asa Gray for coming up with the name, because he was making. We were talking about there's a wrestler named Warhorse, and he was talking about the old Michael Cole. It's boss time, and he said it's horse time, and I went, oh, I love that. I'm naming a show after that. I told Warhorse that story too. I worked with Warhorse a couple times. I told him that story, and he loved it. We took pictures together. He was a huge fan.
Great.
This show is named after Warhorse. I mean, if you think about it, But yeah, we did this show, and it was just a way for us to chill out, relax. There was never anything. I mean, we were struggling for topics. There's some of the episodes where Hunter was just looking up shit online, looking up
memes.
Yeah,
I was on a fucking Tumblr that I really like, and I was just sending memes to the group chat just to make you guys laugh. A lot of the recordings are just us fucking laughing.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, whenever I joined, I had come back to visit, and y'all were doing had been doing a few live shows at the store. And I think I joined in on one, had some fun. I had my own, I had just been coming off of my own podcast,
right?
And I was wanting to do more with you all, and so we joined in on this one. And to Hunter's point, there was very few topics. I remember sometimes I would look up like weird facts that we would talk about,
lists, random lists. We wouldn't make our own. We would just rag on somebody else's list.
Yeah.
But remember whenever AI launched, and we did the first image generators, and that's where
Crumcap, or the frog,
Trim Green,
the frog, which is on the banner right now. Yeah.
Yes, some of the damn shit. I remember there were moments where we were just wheezing and laughing like tears, like we couldn't fucking breathe.
What was there was one with a grandmother. What the hell was it? There was like a Christmas one or something.
God. Oh yeah, yes. It was like the Grinch, but it was Grammy or
Trammy, and Trim Green. They came out at the same time. Because he was like, it was like the Grinch, but he was like a weird like old woman version, and he was like red and white. It was bizarre.
Wasn't there the gorilla that had the sailor hat on and sunglasses or something?
I'm
Those early AI generators were so bad.
It was so much fun though. And Kaz had the key. Kaz was he was the god of AI. He was the only one that had the keys for it. So he would just create all these weird fucking images constantly and put them in the group chat. And we would try to be conducting shows or talking about something, and Kaz would just be dropping AI images in there that would fucking break us constantly. At one time, this was my absolute favorite show to do, because it felt like there was no point to it and people loved it. I was shocked every week how many people listened to this show, considering there was no point to it. I'm looking back before.
This show was the ultimate Seinfeld. It meant nothing.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's where the cold open started. We did an entire Seinfeld episode once.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So there were a bunch of So there were a bunch of podcasts and a bunch of, like, basically at the height of COVID, nobody was going out. People were trying to find shit to do. This is when all these podcasts launched, and especially celebrities were doing like table reads of shows that they weren't on. Like if it was, we can get together the cast of this show, but we want them to do an Office episode, then that's what somebody would do. And so I went, we got to do this. We got to do this at some point in time. So I found the entire script for, I think the episode is called The Cashmere Sweater. Yes. It's a great episode of Seinfeld. I pulled the script for the whole thing, and it was just, there was like 4 or 5 people, because it was me, you, Lindsay, Tanner.
I think Cody. Cody.
Yeah. Cody was, because he was George Costanza.
Yeah. And I was Seinfeld.
Yeah, and I played Kramer, and then I think we had like one other person was just kind of filling in additional extra lines. And it was silly. And it's just, that's what we did for like a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, well, why don't we just make it cold opens? We'll just pull like SNL sketches and we'll do them at the beginning of the show. And then that's thus the cold open.
It also, before it went to Horse Time, I just want to mention, it also had, normally when we name these shows, it'll be named after whatever we talk about on the show. So if we do After Dark, it'll be named after the list or something like that. Horse Time had the best titles. Listen to some of ththese. I'm just looking back through it. The second episode was called The Yaddle Strokes Back because of fucking Tanner talking about his love for Yaddle. Episode 3 was Chocolate Bucket Heads and Cold Chicken Flavored Water. Episode 4 was Magic Dead Roy Clock Trivia.
Wait, so this show was basically our name list. What
it was the group chat names.
Kind of.
It's the group chat names, but before those were the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what inspired it. Was we couldn't name enough shows after him, so we just started naming people in the group chat after typos and misheard phrases. And
to the day I die, when I hear something crazy in the ether around me, all my brain does is go, well.
Change the name. Yep.
To the point that there are people at my work who know what I'm talking about. Like, if somebody says something that slips out, I go, well, they go, who is it? Who's getting the name? Tell me what their name is before you change it. I'm like, all right, hang on.
What's some of the other names?
Well, May 29th, 2020, by the way, the episode was called 12-Ounce Seinfelds. Here's the description. It's an extra special edition of Friday Sanity as Lindsay and Cody join the show to talk about Awful Adult Swim and the Gang Does a Table Read of Classic Comedy. That's the first time we did it. I think the next one might be my favorite, and I hope Dalton's listening, because it just says pick 3 and Dalton's a bitch. That was the name of the episode.
A classic. IMDb is rating that one on its regular top list.
Oh
my God.
June 26th was Just Letting It Marinate, Bud. And then the one above that is just Supplies in all caps.
I remember both of those.
Yes.
Supplies was from that ridiculous SNL sketch with Bill Hader as the old guy who keeps getting on the news reports and just ragging on everybody. And then the marinate thing was from Letterkenny or whatever. That was around that time.
I'm looking for the first episode where Kaz is on.
I really thought it was sooner than that. In my head, the moment it became Horse Time, it was Kaz.
Well, it's still not Horse Time yet. In fact, I forgot about this. This is one of the more infamous moments on the show in general. This is one that people remember to this day, and they still talk about. And Tanner broke the news. We found out live during the show that Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh, that's right. That was a Friday, wasn't it?
Live on the show. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
We were like 3/4 of the way through the show, and we were going to do something funny, and Tanner's like, guys, Chadwick Boseman's dead. And we all went, what?
Yeah, we thought it was a joke.
Seriously,
that's not a funny joke.
He died. Yeah, no, it was horrible, man. Yeah. We legit thought it was a bit.
Well, this one didn't age well. September 11th, 2020. This is right in the, I think this was Maria and I were together and we were moving in together. It was called A Dog Will Lick His Own Butt But Won't Eat a Pickle. ... road. Here's the description. It's the end of the road for Shannon as he wraps up his final show with Podzilla 1985. How long will it last? Place your bet at r/Podzilla 1985.
That was when we were using our subreddit.
In the same way.
Yeah.
Repeat that description.
I think this show was also the reason we created the subreddit, as I remember.
It was, yeah.
More or less. Like, we used it for a bunch of different things, but we more or less used it almost exclusively for this show, because it was talking about topics we were going to discuss, telling people to jump in the live chat is when they had the little chat room, they had the sticky post at the top and all that.
October 9th, 2020 was the legendary Jonathan Frakes edition episode. That was a lot of fun.
What's the right tip?
But I think Kaz didn't join in until about November-ish from the looks of it.
I did not think it was that long.
Yeah.
See, that's the type of mark I made.
It officially changed over to, oh God, this might take me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, see, that was around what I remember.
I've been here longer than y'all thought, or less than. It feels like
what I remember when you got in was that was when like it really started to feel like Horse Time, number one, because again, the logo, the puppet, the whole thing. But that was also like pretty quickly after you got in, unless I'm remembering it correctly, was when we sold so many books
on
Amazon.
The second episode of Horse Time was Kaz's first. Here's the description. California's favorite son, Casper, because he didn't know what to call you back then, joins the show tonight to talk about our favorite gaming moments, share some personal stories that grew up with Seanán, and soak in the sanity that is horse mouth. And then the next week, Casper's back this week. And then from then, it was just gone. And
it's time to sell some books.
Yeah.
What is that author's name? I told you about this guy, but I
found it. So February 8th, 2021, maybe our most epic episode we ever did. It was called The Forging of a Warrior Horse. Tonight we hit an all new milestone. We sold a book, and wait till you hear about it. Plus, Kaz is 3 sheets to the wind early, and the fans ask us our favorite top 5s on the spot.
Oh, we must have been doing it live, so they can talk to us live in the moment.
Yep.
So importantly,
we sold.
Back when I would get drunk for the show,
we sold out on Amazon for that damn book.
It's Amand Williams, Alexander Forging of Warrior President. It is back available on Amazon. I'm going to drop an image. We'll drop the link. Actually,
maybe we can sell some more for him. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to drop the link right now. There it is.
Alexander Amand or whatever.
It is available on Kindle. You can get it on Kindle.
Oh, good.
It's on paperback.
Oh, now we can't sell it out. Stupid.
It says there's a review, but I can't read it. I've yet to find a way to
do you remember when we were reading excerpts from the book on the show?
Dying. So again, someone at my work brought this to my attention. Apparently, this guy once was a temporary worker at that place, and he brought it to their attention. And I couldn't get it out of my head from that point on because he had a copy. The person I'm talking about from my job had a copy of it.
Right.
And he let me take a look at it, but I never actually read it. He just kind of showed it to me. And so then, sure enough, he later he sends me a link and he's like, "It's on Amazon. You can buy it now." And sure enough, to this day,
there's no
description. The description on Amazon is the entire book. It's what's on the jacket. You can read every single thing that happens in it. But yeah, at the time that we mentioned it, several people who listen to this show bought a copy, and the next thing you know, next week we went and checked, and sure enough, it said it's sold out. That there were no more copies. You could not buy one, which is
I'm also
powerful.
I'm going to post some of my favorite images that we made for the show for the
thumbnails. Being
thumbnails.
That powerful where you can do that for lots of books at scale. And you could just be like, here's a book, go fucking read that stupid ass thing. And then
I forgot about fart time.
Fart time, huh?
That's picture Lizzie. She hates that so much.
Oh my God. Oh, that's...
Horse-related comedy hour, of course.
I love when we changed it to horse-related comedy hour for a little bit. This one's not funny, but I just like that one. That's a throwback right there.
Man. We are quite different.
Yeah.
Kaz is ethnically ambiguous in that picture.
It can be anything. Everything, all of it.
One of my favorite titles that we ever did for the show is just called Betty White Flags. And if I remember correctly, that was Kaz's fault. The Betty White Flags.
What? What the hell?
One of the only shows we ever got a review, a comment on, like officially, was our Dennis Miller is a Dick episode.
Yeah, and that was on Podbean where they said we were smug. What was it? Self-serving people.
Yeah.
Oh, something like that.
That was glorious. So we leaned into that.
So after that one I just sent you, that was the last one we ever did with like different pictures every week. After that, we went to the regular format of one logo. Yeah. Although we did get one last interesting one here with Kaz. Let me post it in here.
Because while you're doing that, Tanner came on the show and had his shirt off, and you were like, "Hang on a minute, I'll join you."
I took my shirt
it went
off
away. The hat came back.
Yeah,
it was a whole thing. The whole thing.
This is the picture that Hunter, didn't this freak you out, or who was it that got freaked out from this picture?
It was the painting. It was that painting you had back there of the person peeking around the corner. I was like, it's freaking me out, man. It looks like there's somebody coming in there.
And you're pointing.
And that was
at
also
them.
when you had the multiple cameras, so you could point and then point and then point, and it's it was disturbing.
It was unsettling.
Too much.
It was unsettling.
I also had all of my different Simpsons animations and shit like that of him like
my God.
transforming more.
And don't forget about Randy Quaid. Yeah,
Quaid,
fucking Randy Quaid. I was not a fan of that one.
Oh, if I was home right now, I would quaid the fuck out of everybody here. Y'all would get super quaided.
Now, the problem with Horse Time is because it was the most relaxed show, and because we did drink a lot during it, it tended to get a little out there.
Oh boy.
Okay,
I know we had more than one, but the first Matt Sism episode.
Yes.
What people don't know.
Yeah.
Kaz might remember this because I think it was me and him. What people don't know is that after that episode ended, first of all, Matt showed up drunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt thought the point of the show was drink as much as you can while you're recording. So he shows up hammered. That was the Red Ships of Spain cold open where we sang the song, we did the whole thing. He talks throughout most of the show, and then the show ends, and we're on here for another. And no, it wasn't Kaz, it was Cody. It was me and Cody.
It wasn't me.
We were on here for another 45 minutes, just talking to Matt, and he kept doing this thing where he would go, "No, wait, shut the fuck up." So here's what's going on, and we'd be like, "Matt, please, we have to go."
God.
Oh boy.
This show also
Chaos.
It got to be a little too big for its britches because then we started having 8 people on every week, and like Kaz has said before, people struggling to talk, people trying to get a word in. And I get why. Like it wasn't done. It was because everybody wanted to come on and have a good time.
Sure. Yeah.
But there is something to be said about a little bit of structure at least.
Yes. Well, I mean, we've even found that since. Go ahead, Kaz.
Oh, I was just going to say, what I always kind of thought about with Horse Time is it was a very much, hey, let's get together, let's hang out, essentially stream Call of Duty, but without stream Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, kind of this kind of slapstick comedy, maybe a little bit over exaggerated in some ways for entertainment value. And so with that, I always kind of thought of a structure because with 3 of us, it's easier to work off of one another. Like somebody says something and you can kind of act quick with it and so forth. But when there's like 5 or 30 or whatever, the number, it's like when somebody says something, you don't really get a good quick joke. You get 2 people with one that kind of overlap itself. And then one has to go, well, you go, and then you go. And then it just all falls apart. And then by the end, like some people are just kind of like,
yeah. Admittedly, but the picture I posted in there, I believe this was the last time, other than Lindsay, and this was before Shelby was on the show. This is before Jesse was on the show, I'm pretty sure too.
Good Lord.
Or maybe he's taking a break. This was all of us. This is the last time we were all together. It was me.
God, so many people.
Me, Hunter, Kaz, Cody, Asa, Dalton, and Tanner. Just missing Jesse and Lindsay at the time, I believe. And that was a fun show, but that was when it's once every couple of months, sure. When it's every week,
doable.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it just becomes, hey, I've got to carve out this 30 to an hour and a half time to possibly do nothing.
Yeah. I was going to say this earlier. We also ran into in that situation, or in that same situation, Shannon, when we did Deadpool and Wolverine on extras and epilogues this past summer.
Too many people.
It was fun. Fun. And the whole point then was like, hey, it's a brand new movie. A bunch of people have seen it. Everybody come on. Let's do it. Let's just make it happen. What we should have said was everybody come in for 5 minutes. Now everybody get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then it just comes back down to us. Yeah. Cause we tried to do it for the whole show and that show was like 2 hours long. It was insane.
Yeah.
We just did not have time to do everything with so many people.
Ain't nobody out in the world going to listen to a 2-hour show, let alone a 2-hour.
Yeah, if it's not plays. If it's plays where it's got a story and a structure, you can get away with that. But 2 hours of banter, it's not happening.
Yeah, no.
Well, it depends on the quality level of banter. I remember that show. It was hit or miss. It was a hit when certain people were on, and it was a miss when other people talked. This show, I always thought, had the best chemistry. Because me, you, and Kaz all have very similar senses of humor. We work well off of each other. It was fine whenever Tanner was on or Cody was on because we all kind of have, similar. But I thought when it was the 3 of us is when it worked best. And if ever it were to come a time where we did continue to do Podzilla and we kept that show around, that was the only way I would want it to go, is the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Because there are other shows for other people. Jesse, Shelby, and Lindsay have Thursday. Whenever we do I Want to Believe, Tanner had that, or whenever we do plays or live stuff, everyone's got their own. Not everybody has to be on every show. Except for me. This is that part where it's like, I'm Homer in Hunter's Barn. I was like, except for me. Except maybe the boy. Yeah.
The boy. Yeah. Well, at this point, I mean, you do the recording for everything, and I do like the literal digital, audio recording, and I do I keep the damn archives. So otherwise, I don't know how it's happening.
Speaking of which,
it's weird.
Speaking of which, Cass, do you still have the archives of those names?
Oh, you're talking about from the chat group?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Probably. Hold on.
He's been lamenting for a couple of months now. He can no longer screenshot them because there's too many people.
To be fair, it kind of I got it to where I can get just the top and the bottom person with a little slice off, just enough to be legible.
There you go.
So I have been able to, but I'm still willing to vote somebody off the island.
I'd be fine with that.
So what is it called? Nicknames. All right. Sorry, I had to find the search term.
Find the folder.
All these.
Hunter, I need you to get the new one ready because I want a comparison old and new. Yeah.
Yes.
So how
also,
far
we changed the name of the group too.
Yeah. What is it now?
I got one.
We're the unsavory potato names.
Ooh, that's strong.
Well, that's better than the muscular native boys.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Yeah, that's
so
the era. Now, my first one goes back to September 24th of 2021.
God.
Oh, man.
Hold on, I can match you.
3 years plus ago.
You said September 24th, 2021?
Yes.
So that episode of Horse Time was called Horse Ride from Hell. Here's the description. The boys are back in the saddle, and tonight they're talking a whole mess about Norm Macdonald, disappearing girlfriends. Gee, I wonder who talked about that. The men who murdered them. Oh, fuck. And Dark Side of the Rings, look at the plane ride from hell. Yikes, Ric Flair, fucking yikes. So that was the corresponding episode for that one, yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and start it off with a fucking bang. There is officially 8 people. This is back when there was 8 of us.
The good old days.
And Tanner starts off as Squirty Cream.
I think you could just say the names. We don't have to attribute them to people.
No.
Fair point.
I want them attributed to people.
All right,
yeah.
You want that? We'll start with this one with attribution. If we go to more, we'll just go straight. Okay. But Jesse was Juicy Chibs.
Juicy Chibs.
That's Red Dead. That's Red Dead all day.
Red Dead era. Yes, sir. Stephen Bright was Morning Brown.
Wait, morning is in the time or like sadness?
The time.
Okay.
I mean, it could cut either way.
Both ways.
A fair question.
This is true. Asa was Loney Cash. Zach Kurgis. Zach Kurgis was the Flex Offender.
Yes, the Flex Offenders.
That's from the wrestling card.
That was a wrestling name,
yeah.
So now we got another a Red Dead one with me as Pimp Boom Boom.
Pimp Boom Boom.
And then Shannon.
We just called you that.
Exactly. And we also called Shannon the fastest spud in the West.
The Potato Kid.
He was the Potato Kid.
Yeah.
And then Hunter, of course, was just White Bitch.
Fuck. Fucking White Bitch.
I take a little umbrage with the phrase "of course" in that sentence. I really. Let's revisit that part real quick. Oh my god!
What's funny is I didn't get an actual. I didn't get another screenshot until January of 22. So just a few months later. Shannon, was there a horse down that day?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. You said January 22.
January 20 of 22.
Holy shit! No, there was not. So the last horse time we did, and it was called the last one forever and ever for real. This time we fucking mean it. Was October 16th, 21. We didn't do another horse time till June 12th of 22.
Wow!
Holy shit!
Yeah, we did.
We brought it back in the summer because we were bored.
Yeah.
That's what happens. We do get bored sometimes. And when you get bored, you come up with names like Raynard, Sprainard, Sex Imperial.
Yes, the greatest character from PZ85 plays.
I was gonna say that's a play story. That's for a couple weeks from now.
And then you got the greatest tag team champion team of all teams is the Steam Unit and Slutlung.
Wait, hold on. I want to go back to him saying the greatest tag team champions of all teams.
So, okay, I'm thinking this had to be 76, right? Because that's the only place I can think slut lung would have come from.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine anything else. God help us otherwise.
Oh, boy.
Seanán happened to be the Legend of Zelda, the Age of Consent.
Oh, God damn. I don't like that one. I don't like that one at all.
Lil Ron and the Meaty Boys.
Fuck, I read about Lil Ron and the Meaty Boys.
I love that one.
Hold on. You got George of the Gungle.
Oh, the Gungle, because he said, "Watch out for that gun." I remember that one.
Oh no! Two dogs connecting.
Fuck. Now I'll raise a glass to that one, by the way, because that's a good story. That's when Parker and Travis saw each other on the video and connected.
Yep.
That's
they
a good
connected,
one.
and it was two dogs connecting.
Two dogs connecting.
Actually, I just found George of the Gungle in case you forgot it. Watch out for that gun. This was the kind of shit.
Damn.
This is what horse time was for like a couple of months. It was just me sending memes to the group chat.
Oh god.
I have to acknowledge the fact that, like, I could even continue some of these names, and some of them are just horrific. But the two dogs connecting is one that sounds terrible on first glean, but it's one of the most wholesome things
it's super
ever.
wholesome.
Right, it turns out fine. It was
And we
just Parker
never
Travis
did another
looking at each
wholesome
other.
name like that.
No, but that's why
never again.
That's why I brought tonight's
the only
episode.
thing we came up with was shit like Distempered Raccoon and the Cum Zone.
Oh god damn! I forgot about the Cum Zone.
Then you got the Teeth Master, Thirsty Girdle, the Brown Recluse.
The what?
The brown
Recluse. Recluse, man. Get it right. The Pancreas of Magica. The commercially successful werewolf.
Of course.
Oh god, everything was fucking
specifically.
commercially successful for Kaz. Every goddamn thing.
Then you got Ass Cheeks, the Bodega Cat.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Ass Cheeks. That's a good Bodega Cat. Tonight's episode, by the way, is brought to you by Josh Wine. Thanks, Josh, for stopping by.
Is it Josh?
Yeah, I brought
You got a bottle
Josh
of
again.
Josh?
It's Josh again. Yeah, I
boy.
wanted to do something classy for the show because it got to the point where I was just drinking hard whiskey. We're back to wine tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You take it down a notch.
What's that wine called?
That's Josh.
Oh, it's
a
a
wine.
Josh stuff.
It's a wine for Josh.
That was the name of an episode, as I recall, too.
Yeah.
I got something for you. Here you go.
If I could make a drink name, it would be Ass Cheeks, the Bodega Cat Wine.
That's a good one. You know, I gotta admit, wrong face dragon lasted for a long time.
Well, it couldn't have been in Skyrim or online.
But it did. But it
'cause there aren't
did get
any.
replaced. It got replaced by Dick Blayton, aka Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Fucking Dick Blatant. God bless.
Oh,
God bless you, boy.
There was gold in here.
It really was. I'd buy that for $1.
Well, Hunter,
So the
what
current
do we got
ones,
right now? Yeah.
the current ones in the unsavory potato names include something about gingivitis. That's the name, by the way. The word,
Yeah.
phrase, something about gingivitis. 12 reels of racism.
That's
which
not
barely
as bad as it sounds.
Well, I think it's just a description of D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation.
Yes.
It's 12 reels of
Yes.
racism.
God, that's fucking horrific.
Shazmo's pizza rolls. Don't miss out.
They're about 10 for $1, if I remember correctly.
and don't forget about futuristic Robert.
Oh, he's the furniture of law enforcement. How can I forget?
One of his features is toy. There's Ride Me Into the Dumpster Fire.
I don't want to talk about that one.
I don't either. There's Bottle Feed 2042.
That one I'll talk about.
There's Michael Frontier, of course. Wiener Beaner Arcade Missile is for sure a name. as well as Damn You, Jimmy Dean.
Can I hear that one more time, please?
No. No. You got it once. There's an angry farmer look. Don't forget about Big Pa Blastoise.
Big Pa Blastoise, yeah. Of course.
I wasn't there for that one, but I know when it happened. There's My Corn Beak.
That's My Corn Beak.
Right. And that one also has a story. And then maybe my favorite one that probably isn't going away for a while, and that's Beaten and Crying.
That's inspired by a member of the cast. You guess which one. We're not going to tell you who.
We named it after the person who said it, but it's not him.
It's not who you think. So, the last episode of Horse Time, unless oh no, I'm saying the one before this. The last one was April. It was on April Fool's Day, 2024.
Oh shit!
Oh,
because I remember saying we were going to do this, and it was like nobody's going to fucking believe us because it's April Fool's Day.
God, wait, is this the one that did the fucking Give Brothers thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 9 years.
Damn me.
Yeah.
Oh, I never want to remember that, but let's go ahead and do it.
It was 9 years of Podzilla. It was our 9-year anniversary. It was called the 9 Years of Podzilla 1985 Horse-tacular. The one before that, though, the last one we did was March 18th. The official last one before we did the anniversary was March 18th, 2024. It was called Horse Time, a cast member ruins his political aspirations. Because it's the one where Cody did that. Yeah. He did that skit. And he,
Yeah. The less said, the better.
Poorly.
I believe it was the last episode Cody was ever on, actually. Except for extras.
Actually.
Cody died 10 years ago tonight.
I don't open Skype very often, but you started talking about that, and I just had this come through. If you would.
Oh, hold on.
Just check that notification for me.
Well, that says...
There's approximately 92 sobbing horses calling. They're very sad.
Oh, God. Oh, so, what's the future of Horse Time as we wrap this up? Well, nothing. That's it.
We don't know.
That's it. We never know.
That was a good memory. Nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes the nothing memories are the best ones.
We hope that this made no difference on your life whatsoever, but we love you all the same.
Well, that was always the point of Horse Time. It had no point. That was
the show.
But
yes,
but
how long can something go for that does nothing for the world?
Correct.
Yeah, people love tuning in and just forgetting their problems for a little bit and laughing. You know what? Maybe we should bring Horse Time back at least until we close the doors.
Perhaps with value.
Yeah,
we joke about it, but maybe it's the most value moving into this new goddamn nightmare hellscape. We just need to get together, get drunk, get high, whatever, and say things that we probably regret.
Yeah, well,
when the hell would we do it? Because we're doing extras and epilogues twice a week for the rest of the year.
Well, just for
that's y'all's choice, not mine.
Just for November, well, shit, yeah.
That's a consequence of your decision-making process.
All right, well,
unless you want to squeeze them in on Mondays.
No, literally looked at December and was like, "How many fucking movies can we talk about?"
Well, it's a very cagey Christmas.
It's a very cagey
December.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Last year it had been a good year.
And we had.
Oh.
Who do you think, as not as their entire library, because it would be an easy question if I said that, but just your favorite films from the two of them. Who do you think has the better catalog? Not the whole catalog, just your favorite films. Cage or Michael Biehn?
Nicolas Cage.
Cage.
See, for me, it would be Michael Biehn. And I'm not trying to be different. It's just I love Terminator and like Aliens and Tombstone that much more than anything I've seen Nic Cage in. So for me, it's Michael Biehn.
I mean, the fact that I just had to Google Michael Biehn, but
now
I know who it is.
It's Johnny Ringo. The deadliest Mr. Says Wild Bill Hickok, they say.
He did.
Don't get me wrong,
Johnny Ringo.
Tombstone looms large in a big way, but like if I have to, I mean, it's death by 1,000 cuts because Cage is in so many good fucking movies.
You can't beat Cage. He just overwhelms you.
Beans, that's what I'm saying. Bean's got several really good
and acting overabundance. Go ahead, what?
Right. No, Bean's got several really good ones, but Cage has so many, just even moderately good ones that's all it takes.
Yeah, but I enjoy the Bean films more. The ones that, like I said, not the whole catalog, because you're absolutely right. You're 100% right. Nicolas Cage has been in way too many good movies. It's like StarCraft. It's that Zerg rush,
Yeah.
Bean has been in 43 movies. Cage has been in 116, and there's still 7 of them about to move over into previews.
He's still working on it.
He's got 7 upcoming with 116 in his review.
Man.
Yeah, but only one of them was in Tombstone. I'm just saying.
I mean,
which Tombstone?
I'm not disagreeing.
I wonder if Cage has been in something that has the word Tombstone in it.
I think he's ordered a Tombstone once or twice.
He has a very
sure.
specific one in New Orleans. We got to visit it when we went there years ago. He has this like pyramid. It's like a white pyramid of some kind in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 in New Orleans. That's a true story.
Well,
Google it.
Well, I will say this. I worked for a particular company. When we all got together one time at a big place, they recreated different themed rooms and whatnot, and one of them was literally a temple, a religious temple to the god Nicolas Cage, and they had 3 monks walking around with Nicolas Cage Bibles, and then there was a giant Nicolas Cage picture on the back wall above the podium. It was the most glorious thing in the history of all glorious things that's ever been glorious.
I mean, that's a lot of glory, man, admittedly, but I still got to go with Michael Biehn. But looking through his film history, he was in some great movies in the 80s and 90s, and then he was in a bunch of movies, and none of them good.
This is not my picture. I do have it somewhere, but I just Googled it to find it real quick. That's Nicolas Cage's eventual resting place in what's called St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 in New Orleans. It's a pyramid.
Wow.
He has owned it for a long time now. Yeah, St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. I forget why it's called that. We did one of the only things we did when we were there. That was a vacation we took years ago, and we went on that cemetery tour, like a walking tour that morning. It was 100 degrees. We're sweating to death, but the tour guide was very good, and that was one of the things he pointed out.
I'm crazy. I'm looking at Michael Biehn here, and
you are.
Thank you. It turns out he was So he was in Blood Dragon, which was the Far Cry spinoff, which was awesome. He was also apparently in The Mandalorian. I don't remember him in The Mandalorian. Said he played someone named Lang.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't remember this at all.
One.
Yeah.
Nope. I can't help you there.
He was the dancing policeman in Dr. Parnassus. Is that true? No.
Michael Biehn, or
This is a different Michael Biehn.
Hunter, if this helps at all, here's a picture of him as Lang from The Mandalorian.
I'm seeing him standing beside Din Djarin, but I don't. Yeah, it's not. I'm looking at it myself. Yeah, there it is. I don't remember this character at all. Which, to be fair, that show hasn't had a new season in a year and a half at least.
No, but they got a movie coming out along with the other there are 14 films I think that are coming out.
Something like that, man. It's a lot.
Here's a better picture of Michael Biehn on the set of Mandalorian. That's
I gotta
I'm gonna scream.
Okay. I gotta correct a previous statement. Bean has been in 109 movies. I was looking at the wrong one. Still less than Cage, but definitely not a Far Cry.
Yeah, but Nicolas Cage has been in some of the apps.
No, he wasn't a Far Cry. He was in the game.
He was.
Thank you.
He was.
Thank you for walking through that door. I appreciate it.
But Nicolas Cage
was trying something and you caught it.
He's been in some terrible films. Some absolutely
you're not wrong.
films. I mean, they both have.
But he's also been in some incredible shit.
So, okay.
I mean, again, you were talking about Tombstone, but like Raising Arizona is legitimately one of the funniest
Leaving
movies
Las
I've
Vegas
ever seen.
Is
National Treasure. Like, don't tell Tanner, but National Treasure is a great movie. It's a action movie, but it's great.
It's a 21st. It's a generation's version of like Indiana Jones and shit.
Yeah,
like
it really is.
It's a legitimate like epic.
I think the question that will be on everybody's mind eventually, I really do believe at the end of the day they will go, was Nick Cage an amazing actor or a terrible actor? Because he goes both ways.
Actor.
He's absolutely brilliant in some roles and absolutely horrible in other roles.
I bet.
But I think some of that's on
that his entire persona, him as a human being, is just live action performance from birth to death.
And I think so. That's also on your director. Like, you know, if your director's not going to be willing to step in and direct the guy, then...
Yeah, but it's Nic Cage. Do you think at a point it gets to be, well, it's just Nic Cage? It's like Steven Seagal. Well, it's just him. He'll just do what he wants.
I always not like Steven Seagal. No.
I think it depends. I think it depends on how he acts on set. And I honestly don't know how Nic Cage acts on set.
Everything I've ever heard is everything I've ever heard is he's pretty
chill,
straightforward dude.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about Nic Cage. Like, I've always heard he's fantastic.
It's definitely not Keanu Reeves level of like.
And I was going to say, importantly,
by motorcycles and shit.
Importantly, I was going to say, I'm not necessarily saying is he a good guy or is he a dick. It's more about, does he like to take direction? Yeah. Is he the kind of guy who on set is willing to have somebody step in and say, hey, you should try this, you should try that, or no? I don't know.
I would say that if you're a director or a writer, whomever is the one that's like working, like actually doing the casting in a Nic Cage movie, you're probably, you know what you're getting, so you're writing for it. So it, like the vampire movie that he did recently, like that was like Nic Cage as Dracula or as Redfield. Like you kind of know that it's going to be Nic Cage as your character.
And so well, that's assuming they wrote to him. They may not have. I don't know.
I'm sure I fucked up a name or something.
You said Redfield.
You said Nic Cage as Redfield, and I'm.
Well, now what Shannon's got in his head is a picture of him as Chris Redfield from the first Resident Evil game.
I'd watch that.
I'd play that for $1.
Oh, we need to make that a goddamn thing. I'd buy it for $1 too.
I think I'm going to make that the picture for tonight. Is Nic Cage as Chris Redfield,
but with vampire fangs.
and the forging of a warrior horse behind him.
They'll just look at him and go, "What is a man?"
Well, then I mean, he could answer. Oh, what?
Ask ChatGPT, is Nic Cage hard to direct? It says directing a Nic Cage can be an interesting experience for many filmmakers, as it's known for a unique and intense approach to acting. A Cage brings a distinct, sometimes unpredictable style to what it calls a nouveau shamanic, which is all about tapping into primal emotions and larger-than-life expressions. Directors often describe working with a Nic Cage as both a creative challenge and a rewarding process due to its commitment and willingness to go all in with its roles.
Why do they keep calling him Nic Cage?
He's one of many.
That was my embellishment of the description.
Which Nic Cage model do you have?
I changed the person perspective of the description for my own means.
Check the serial number before you start trying to direct it. Have you updated its firmware yet?
I
Cage been updated.
I asked Copilot which is the better actor, Nic Cage or Michael Biehn. And it said both Nicolas Cage and Michael Biehn have had impressive careers, but they bring different strengths. Nic Cage is known for his versatility and willingness to take. Oh yeah, no, Copilot's a bitch. It never wants to answer anything.
It's not going to choose. It's not going to choose.
It asks me. It's like Villa DeFranco. It passes the question on to me. What are my thoughts?
Yeah. Who do you think is the bigger?
If I had the answer, I wouldn't have asked you.
It says, why does not Nic Cage simply eat Michael Biehn and assert his dominance?
I watched a movie with Nic Cage in it recently called, I think it was called Arcadian, I want to say, for Halloween. And it was about, he was a dad in a post-apocalyptic world trying to keep his two sons safe from these monsters that they were... I'm not kidding. They were influenced, the visual look was influenced by Goofy from Disney. And once you see the monster, you go, yeah, I kind of see it. Yeah. I thought it was a good movie. I've always liked Nic Cage as an actor. I like Nic Cage and Michael Biehn. They're both fantastic actors. They're a lot of fun. They're both a lot of fun. Yeah, only on Horse Time could we start talking about the history of the show and end up talking about Nic Cage for 20 minutes.
And combine it with generative AI and stuff, because I asked ChatGPT the same question. It went into the same fucking spiel about it, comparing them as like two different acting styles, career trajectories. It went through a whole blathering of this, that, and the other and whatnot. And at the end of it, I simply responded to ChatGPT with, choose one.
Oh.
You know, just to force it. And it went, something went wrong. If this issue persists, please contact us at our help center at help.openai.com.
It just makes me think of the Parks and Rec bit where, Leslie, I put your symptoms into this computer and it says you might have internet connectivity issues.
It's exactly right. Holy shit.
I'll never forget
this. Chat.
It's one of my favorite behind the scenes stories because the guys who wrote that episode said they were so mad at Chris Pratt and they're like, why? Because he ad-libbed, and they're like, no, because we could not have written anything funnier. Any version of that joke was not going to be as funny as what he came up with. Like, we spent so much time coming up with an idea for that, and then he said that, and we went, fuck, that's the line. That's the line.
All right, well,
here it is.
Yes. I want to hear it.
It requires no speaking.
What?
He just sent the picture of what he said.
Oh, okay, let me see.
Something went wrong.
No, I just wanted to take that for posterity and whatnot.
I'm pretty sure this is almost the exact same thing that I got.
I missed the image of Brad Stein, God's comic, up there.
Oh yeah. Put a helmet on.
Him. You shoot a bunny, skin it, eat it, make a
hat. That used to be on the board there. All right, we're gonna wind this horse memory down.
It's been a good horse.
I also missed horse time. Haunt my balls.
So there have been all right. Before
is that McTickle or whatever?
Yeah, I was like, before we get out of here, there's two authors.
McTickle.
I can't. I've had too much Josh. I can't.
I have to go change the name to McTickle.
McTickle. Maybe it's the 12 reels of racism. We can change
let's get rid of that.
There's two authors.
That McTickle?
Two authors on this show that we were obsessed with. One of them was Alexander Horseman. What was his name?
Amon Bundy or some shit.
Amon Williams.
Amon Williams and Chuck Tingle. Horse Time became the home for Chuck Tingle discussion. Oh my god, there was an episode and then we found out Chuck Tingle's actually like a really cool dude. Like,
and he was in St. Louis.
Yes,
he came to one of my favorite bookstores, Left Bank Books. We just could not go that night, but I so badly wanted to go.
Man, it'd be awesome if we could tell him that we helped him sell out his book.
Well, that's the other guy.
Not Amon. Yeah, we're talking about Chuck Tingle.
That's the wrong one.
Chuck Tingle haunts my balls.
If Amon was at Left Bank, he was asking if they needed somebody to sweep the floors. Like, that's not. He wasn't there selling out books, nor was he buying them.
I know a girl that bought the book though, and then showed up at my house one morning randomly.
Unrelated incidents.
That happened. Oh, all right. Well, let's bring this hoarseness to a close. Hunter, what else we got to tap this week before we get out of here?
Oh boy! So this was the first of our revisited shows. Again, we've skipped the PWU one. That's not happening.
Yeah, so we're not gonna revisit it.
This week's extras and epilogues is a little strange because most of the month feels kind of themed, right? Like last week we had RoboCop and Back to the Future, two great
80s classics. Yeah.
Next week we have two stoner classic comedies. It's Hot Rod and Super Troopers. Right. The last week of the month is just classically bad movies. Major Payne and Batman and Robin.
Yes.
But this week,
it's a horse time week.
Tomorrow night we have Lindsay on to follow up the great 80s flick. She's coming on to talk about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is phenomenal. And then on Friday, we bring Kaz back for that timeless family classic, Platoon.
Yeah. That's family fun for everyone.
What a strange nostalgic pick. Oh my god.
And in between that we have
like me.
In between that we have After Dark, and I think this week is the Simpsons revisited, or not revisited, but the Simpsons retrospective.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I gotta tell people about that before, because I haven't told them they're on it yet, so it'll be great.
I believe that is this Thursday.
Yeah, we'll have Nate back on for the first time in years.
A long time.
Well,
it has been a long time.
Actually, he was on the Barbie episode, I think.
No, that was Ethan. You're thinking of Ethan.
I think that both were. I don't know. I don't care either.
No, Lindsay and Ethan are listed on that, unless he showed up and I just didn't put him on the listing because I don't have him on there.
Well, we're trying a new thing with the show where we only allow the people who are supposed to be on the show in the show. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
And then as the month rolls on, I mentioned all the E&Es. We also have some nostalgic trivia coming up for After Dark, which I'm not making. I made the Halloween one.
I'll make
somebody
it.
else is gonna have to
I'll do this. Shit. That way I can't lose.
And then apparently on the 28th, which is Thanksgiving, we have a Pokemon retrospective. Yes. I have been recently made aware that I may have a nighttime activity that night, so I may not be around for that one.
It's all right. This is just a Lindsay vanity project, so.
That's what I assumed. Yeah. Plus, on top of that, we're revisiting PZ85 Plays next week.
Oh, baby.
We're revisiting I Want to Believe later on this month.
Maybe.
Maybe. And maybe we'll do PWU that night. Who knows?
We'll see who's available.
And then, Shannon, we've been calling it the world premiere, and I think that's important. You tell them what it's the world premiere of.
Well, hopefully we can make it happen, because unfortunately the hardest part is getting people together for the recording of this, because everyone has such busy lives. If we don't do it this month, we'll do it next month for sure, but
before the end of the year. Yeah,
but the goal is we're going to have the world premiere of Lambert and Glass Save the World. This is the culmination of all of our Hallows' Eve Tales episodes, like literally all 3 seasons. This is like the end of it, kind of, because it draws all of the storylines together. It involves Agent Lambert, Dorian Glass, Graham Sterling, DJ Bad Kermit from season 1. This is going to be fantastic. It is a twisty mystery of noir style time traveling adventure where Kaz is the bad guy.
And it's not multiple episodes. This is like a movie. Like it's all come down in one big chunk.
Right.
Yep.
This is going to be fantastic.
Are we going Peter with it? Is it going to be like 18 hours?
No, I'm shooting for an hour, maybe a little over an hour. Yeah. It might be movie length. We'll see. But we're writing the script right now. Hunter and I've been writing it so far. I'm going to add Hunter to it so we can add to it. We're going to write it together. And
yes, please do.
I'm very excited.
Roll my tongue more.
No. You just be you. Oh yeah.
No, I did that one good time. No, I'm going for one. Let's leave.
Ray. Jesse Kimball's excited, except
he's not gonna do it.
The first thing he asked me was, "Do I have to be on camera?" I said, "No, you're fine." All right, that's it.
In the head.
The stables are closed, ladies and gentlemen. The horses are put out to pasture. Stables. Maybe for the last time, maybe not, probably. But until the rest of the week, until the next show, thank you for myself, for Kaz, and for Double H. We had so much fun doing this one more time. If it's the last time, it was a good one to go out on, but it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys. We love you. Until then, Kaz, I'm going to give it to you. Take us out.
While some directors appreciate the Nic Cage's enthusiasm and creative interpretation, others find the Nic Cage difficult to direct because of its intense improvisational approach, which can differ from the typical direction-driven performance style of other things that are not Nic Cage.